welcome everyone. We're back in, and my slow introduction there was because I was making sure I hit the button that turns on the microphones. It's the Kill Team Casuals, and there's two of us today. Unfortunately, Russ has Nurgle's gift.
The good two.
The good two, the bestest
The good two are here.
Russ is Russ is still getting his bob cut, just trimmed, just neatened up after last week's chat.
Yeah,
he's still battling that hair. I thought I was gonna say Nurgle's gift, but it's more like the flowing locks are still out of control. So today it's myself and obviously Ben from Battle Brothers Tabletop.
That's me, Ben from Battle Brothers Tabletop. Thank you, Reese from Threes to Wound. I almost did it again. Almost said the GFN from Threes to Wound. What a nice time to catch up. We've had plenty of time to catch up without the old ball and chain Russ to impeach on our catching up.
Free and easy, no loose guitar talk, willy nilly, out of nowhere. But it's been interesting. We've been delaying this week's show because we've been like, we knew the balanced data slate was coming. We knew something big was happening, and we're usually 111th in line for dropping the latest news. So this time around, we're going to be about 6th or 7th. So that's a huge improve.
Yeah, it's a big jump. We're moving on up, dude. Moving on up.
And in saying that, because people, that's what they're here for. They're here to hear about the balanced data slate. We're going to start by talking about something completely different. I went to...
As is our way.
As is our way. We make our own rules around here. And that, maybe that will help us with people retention, audience retention. We're going to keep them for longer. Because they're hopefully they'll stop talking about other stuff and eventually get to what we want to hear their thoughts on. But I went to the Purge tournament up in Sydney on the weekend. So, first tournament in a while. Finally got to dust off the competitive side of things. Finally get back into the arena, if you will. Because you and Russ had been flying the flag in there. Russ had been doing crazy things with Vespids. You'd obviously been
madman
carving it up. Was doing some mean work with some Plague Marines. So it was good to get back out there. Due to obviously our wonderful audience, yourselves, the listeners, you guys had helped to vote the Kroot as the team that I was taking, and thanks a lot. That was
crazy.
That made
Did the casual audience, did they vote on Kroot for you? Did I somehow miss this?
I think it was just throughout. I was putting ones out there, and I think across a number of episodes that basically it was narrowed down to that was the team that was going. I think you and Russ also got excited. There's a lot of love for Kroot as a team, thematically. So I think I wouldn't say I was bullied into it. I was a willing participant.
You're coerced. You were coerced.
Retroactively, would I have taken a different team? I surely would have. A quick hello to the chat. If you are joining us live, obviously we stream here on Twitch, but also now live on YouTube. G'day to Sandy, Tabletop Warmasters. If you're in the chat, say g'day. We always love having you. Join us live.
Thanks, folks.
Shenanigans. So yeah, it was.
Yeah, so tell us more about this tournament rager. Tell me this. Did it feel good to get back into the pilot seat? Because I got to be honest, I like playing kill teams or playing kill team like casually at the game store, like having good competitive games at the store, whatever. But for me, nothing compares to playing in a tournament, dude. I love tournaments. I love playing in them. I that's my favorite way to play war games. Did you feel that way at all, or was it rusty? Like, give it all to me.
Yeah, I genuinely, I think it was one of the things I didn't realize how much I'd missed it until I got there, and it was great because obviously it was a bit different. I was traveling from Melbourne to Sydney, so going up for the event, so that gives it already a little bit of excitement, like going to an event, and it was great because I ran into a lot of people that I'd met in the last tournament. A lot of them are in the community with us as listeners of the show and all that. So it was really lovely to sort of get back, and it was great to see, even though it had been literally a year since the last time I'd seen a lot of people, we picked it all back up and you're able to have a great chat to everyone. From the game standpoint, far out. Competitive play is a different play, but it's great. Like Kill Team is, it's where it truly comes alive. And I'll sort of as I talk about the different games, but there was 2 or 3 games where, man, every move was such a nail biter. Like, it was like this could swing the game. This could flip the
Yeah.
game. And it's something, 40K and stuff. I don't find I have those kind of tense experiences. You might be like, oh, I really want to roll, dice well. Yes. But in this, it's like getting that measurement, that millimeter detail of
Mm.
can this model charge? Or if I move this APL and I'm setting something up, do I have another activation to get away with that move? Or with the Kroot, can I steal that objective from out under them using poach?
Yeah.
Everything became really big, and I'm like, it reminds you that like we are very lucky. It's a very well put together game. And I definitely experienced it. Definitely also showed I needed to play more though to get, like I think by the end of day 2, it really started to feel I'm hitting my straps with this team. You start to get those plays off. You start to do things that's deliberate. It's not accidental genius. You're not I did
Yeah.
this. Oh, that was really good. Oh, and I can use this ploy. By day 2, you're like, all right, I'm doing this. This operative's going here to set this up, who gets this
Yep.
off, and your opponent goes, damn, I didn't see that coming. And you're like, yeah, like that's what you want to hear. Your opponent like, that was really good. So
Yeah.
I went in with the intention. My goal
To win.
only to myself was
To get a golden ticket to go to World Championships. That was your goal. Only
That's it.
one goal
That's
is
only-
make no friends, but to crush throats and get to Worlds.
That's all I wanted. Because it was golden tickets up. There's 2 of them up for grabs.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I was super excited. Like, not at the prospect of me getting them. That was not me. I was like, I want solid mid-tier performance. And if it went any better than that, I'd be happy. So I was going for 3 and 3. Spoilers, I went 2 and 4. But
Oh, so close, dude. You're points away.
But looking back, if I had had a little bit more practice, if I had been a bit more comfortable with that team going in, I definitely think it could have been a 4-2. Like some of the games were just with my mishandling of my team, not my opponents doing, stitching me up or anything like that. I was like, in a positive way, I could look back at the games and go, oh, I learnt that, and I always got a little bit better at the end of each game, which is what you want. You don't have to win every game as long as you go, oh, I learnt that. Oh, I'm going to do that again. Huge thank you to Bands, who is the organizer of the event up there in the Purge. He did an amazing job. Seriously, one of the biggest prize pools of stuff. Like, pretty much everyone walks away with like a decent prize. Like, everyone walks away with like a kill team, or like the bigger figurine ones. Like, amazing prize pool. Everyone gets really well looked after. And that's really a great part of that community up there, is that even if it's your first tournament or your last, and you're a regular, you feel welcomed, you feel rewarded. It feels great with your time. Prizes aren't everything, but they are nice. So basically I'll quickly break down. I won't go into too much detail about each one, but just, I know some people will be interested because it was, the spread was interesting. I was expecting 900% Sanctifiers, everyone pushing Felgors, lots of the teams that are doing well, but it was really more a mix of a lot of elites, a lot of Nemesis Claw were huge, Angels of Death. But then after that, it was
turns out that you Bogans have a conscience after all, eh?
Who would have thought it? Seriously, I thought about taking Sanctifiers, and I was like, oh, no, I wouldn't do that. That would be awful. And also, I don't have the skill to make them do the thing that they do really well.
Hey, let me tell you what, brother. It doesn't take a lot of skill to send a Melt-A-Gunner into your deployment zone turn 1. Let me tell you. It won't take much skill to do that. Well, it does. I actually have once we get into it, I think Sanctifier is going to be just as nasty now, because people are going to have to actually play the game instead of just, grind their molars in Alpha Strike. Now you actually have to play the game. But anyways, yeah, continue.
So speaking of Sanctifiers, the first game I had was up against their nemesis, the Goremongers.
Ooh, okay.
The box set bandits, that they were together there. I hadn't played them, so this was really cool. Like, that's another thing that's great about tournaments. If you are on the fence and you're like, oh, I don't know if it's for me, a great thing is you will get to play teams you may never have seen. Like, in your friendship group, you may have 4 or 5 teams, or 6 teams or whatever it is. But that's a great thing about tournaments. You never know who's going to end up on the other side of the table. So every game's, it's exciting. You're like, who am I going to play? And I had a great game. My opponent there was Chris. He was a really, really lovely dude. And he piloted them really well. That was on Volcus, and I did take a loss on that one, but it was close. It was 16-13. Um, and it was that thing
Yeah,
like, yeah,
that's just like one or two. That's like 1 point swing away. You know what I mean?
yeah, and it was. I mean, it was great to, the best way to learn what a team does is see like his play against them. And Chris did a great job piloting them, and I got to see like someone using the blood tanks to great effect. We got to see like Rake, using the extra little charges. He's with the regular boys and stuff like that they can do those follow up charges. And I said they've got a great toolkit. It really made me go, I get why people are playing them. They're a fun team. So
Yeah,
I
man.
definitely learnt the lesson too that because I was sort of going in my head a lot of time doing the maths and going, all right, this guy's on a few wounds. I'm just going to send in one of my crew, close combat and pick that unit up. Doesn't work that way. Make sure you shoot him first, get that 8 wounds off, then charge them. Okay, then charge them.
All right, I strike you for 5 damage.
Yeah.
Actually, I take 2 damage. Wait,
Yeah.
what? Oh
yeah,
no!
exactly. I take 2, and then I hit you with a crit for like 7 or 8 damage or whatever. I learned some lessons. But but that's the best part of playing them. Like you can go, someone can explain it to you, but until they start wrecking your units, you don't remember the lesson. So thank you to Chris. Next up was a game. This was a matchup I was very nervous about. My last tournament, I'd copped one of these, and it was a bit of a bloodbath. I played Ziggy in ITD with the Warp Coven. And he had the 3 sorcerers, couple of rubrics, had a couple of Zangors in there as the point scoring guys. It was a tough matchup. He piloted them very well. I ended up dropping this one 20-10. He had, but it was like
Warp Coven is gross, dude.
yeah. I was overall happy. Like I nearly like one sorcerer was terrorizing one side of the board, but I wasn't trying to kill. I was just trying to go for points, and it was amazing. By the end of the game, I'd done a lot more damage than I realized. Like most of 2 of his sorcerers, I think, were on 2 or 3 wounds. One of the other rubrics was nearly done. So I without trying, I'd done more damage than I kind of realized. So I was like, maybe if I had lent into that a little bit more, I think I was like, probably can't kill them, so don't try too hard. I don't know, but yeah, Ziggy played them very, very well. A team I would definitely not take to a tournament though, just because they've got so much to remember.
Oh god,
so good.
Too much for me.
So good, but so much to remember. Game 3 was up against Jeremy. Jeremy was a really lovely dude. He's a bit newer to the scene, and he was taking the Vespid. So salute to Russ there.
Ooh.
And this was on ITD as well. So I felt a little bit.
Poor bugs.
That's
poor
it.
Bugs.
Yeah, I felt the setup favored me a lot, and even the mission, I felt it pushed the game in my direction a little bit. But we had great laughs. It was one of my more like. We had a great time playing, which is really, really what you want. And I got the win there. So thanks to Jeremy for a ripper game there. But yeah, again, change that game now. Add the extra operative in. I learned a lot of lessons that Sting is frustrating as hell, though. The amount of times
Sting is good, dude.
I went in thinking, yep, I'm just going to pick this operative up, blah, blah, blah. Sting, gets the, knocks out some of my attacks with their thing. Only 3 attacks, but it's where he got that lethal 5 up every time, and all of a sudden the math changes.
Yeah, it's so good.
So I reckon they're going to be, but Russ, watch out. Number 1, people might be coming for your number 1 spot now because they'll want to play them. Next up was game 4. This was against Leroy and the Hearthkin Salvages.
Pause. I just want to pause here.
Please.
Some real good names over here. You playing a Ziggy and a Leroy?
Oh.
Yeah, y'all got some good names down there, dude.
We don't muck around down under. And these aren't even nicknames. These aren't even nicknames.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's awesome.
But Leroy, great dude. He'd come down from Queensland, and they've got a pretty good scene up there in Queensland. I think I just saw someone in Pub for Heretics is up in Brizzy up there, and saying he'd love to have a game sometime. If I get up there, I would love to. G'day to Slacker Large and Gina Sheep as well in the chat. But yeah, so they've got a good little scene up there. Steel sharpens steel up there. They're starting to get a bit of a community growing up there, which is really, really good to see. And Leroy is a long-time Salvages player, and it's always good to see someone play a team who's played it a lot. Like, they haven't picked this team because they've gone, well, I'm going to go because they're good now. And someone who plays a team, and they know what they do. They know their business. And by the time he'd set up the game and he had 900 pieces of equipment,
Yeah.
and all that stuff, I was like, how do you remember all this? But it felt like every time he shot me, I ended up with like 9 crits going through against me. Like he
Yeah.
just set it all up with the grudge tokens and the different aura little things they can put around objectives and that. I had to be so cautious because of like blast, like he had frag grenades, he's got guns with torrent and all that sort of stuff. I was just like so much stuff. I took a photo of the board at one stage, and every one of my guys is just distributed around ITD exactly 2 inches apart, like the way I had to set up because he was just going to torch me. And that game, I ended up losing 16-8, but there was this huge moment in like a little isolated room where I nearly flipped it. I just couldn't quite get this shot on a guy because he'd put barbed wire in the perfect
Oh
spot.
man.
So even with
Yep.
bound, I was losing just enough movement, and it meant that it kept him that room for that one turn longer before I could flip it. And then it was the score definitely didn't reflect how tight that game was. Every move, like we were both just sweating bullets, like okay, but even with it being tense, everything was great. Like we talked everything out. We talked about intent. Like it could have been, if you didn't want to play in the right spirit, it could have been a grumpy game, but it was so good because we both were like, no, well, we want you to have the best. We want to make sure it's right. We even got the TO over a few times just for both of us to clarify things, but in the right spirit, not, I don't believe you. It's like, oh, well, can we just check or what? It was a really, really good game. And he played those salvages very, very well.
Sick.
Then I got to see the Goremongers again. Played Dylan, a lovely, lovely dude. And I'd learnt a lot of lessons from the Goremongers. It was ITD. It was Extraction. So I was like...
Ooh, Extraction.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Did you crude him? Did you crude him with Extraction?
I literally set it up so I went like, boop, boop, third objective, Crude Hound, yoink. And I just was out of there. Like, it was when I saw that setup, I was like, on ITD, I was
just like the clip from The Hangover, like all the doing mathematics in your head flashing in front of you.
Yeah. So it was a matchup and a setup that favored me massively. It was still a great game. We still had a lot of fun, but it was just that classic thing of, it was just like sometimes the certain teams just have things that are good for them, and I felt that was a really, really good one for me. So I just sort of had another good win there in the end as well. And that was, I ended up playing 4 ITD and 2 Volcus. I had a hell of a run of ITD.
Ooh, dang.
And again, I think ITD helped me there as well. Lastly, the last game, because it was funny because I kept sort of getting further from the top table. You know, it's sort of like a tiered setup. And then it was like I kept getting back down the tiers, and then I'd go back up and then back down. And I finished where I wanted. My last game was the tables that were just out of the absolute Shark Tank. So I was like, I was like, this is where I wanted to finish. I'm not meant to be there, but I didn't want to be in the nosebleed section up in the getting altitude sickness
in the parking lot.
And game 6 was another elite matchup. So these are the ones I was worried about. I played Carl, lovely dude who played Legionaries.
Urban? Carl Urban? Yeah.
He was busy, couldn't make this one.
Yeah.
But yeah, Carl was a great player, and it was funny because we both wanting to get 3-3. So we were both at that stage. We both needed that last win to get there. And I got off to a flyer. He was super, super aggressive. Sorry if you can hear my son singing in the background. It was super aggressive. Carl went right for it. We had one of those classic moments where his butcher was poised to absolutely wreck face amongst my guys. And I had
Legionaries?
Yeah, Legionaries. I had my...
Oh, no, dude. Brutal.
I had my Skinner sitting there, and it was like, whoever gets initiative, the butcher either does a lot of damage or the Skinner sets him on fire. I got initiative, and the Skinner just lit him up. Fantastic. But then it ended up being... And I was like, oh, my God, like, I got that. He was really aggressive, put his plasma gunner on advantage, and then I was sort of able to counteract, and his... Again, you wouldn't read about it, but like the plasma gunner whiffed twice. Had his obviously shot and a counteract against one guy in light cover.
Yeah.
And I couldn't kill him. I think I got that guy down to 2 wounds. and then I ended up picking up the gunner. Early in that next turn, got rid of the butcher. His leader charges in and does a classic double kill. But then I get the leader down to, I think it was like 2 wounds I had it down to. So he's nearly already like 3 operatives down.
Dude, yeah.
I was like, oh, and he was super aggressive with the Balefire Acolyte, and I ended up getting rid of the Balefire Acolyte. I was like, bang, bang. He was just like, oh my god, he'd had shocking rolls when he needed good ones. And I was like, oh my god, like I've got him here. Like there's like, I've just got to get that. If I get that leader, he's got 2 operatives are on the other side of the board. I'm gonna just control it. Yeah. And then the leader just
pause.
Yes.
I was gonna say, let me guess what had happened. Did he win turn 3 initiative?
No, I did.
No. Oh, really? Wow. Okay.
So again, like I was like, it kept going my way. I was like, I've got this. I was like, and trying not to get too excited. I'm like, keep playing it, play the mission, play smart. And then all of a sudden that leader just ended up being like because he was tied up, finished the turn tied up in combat with, I think, my heavy gunner. So I couldn't shoot him. And I definitely did, looking back, you always go, could have done A, B, C. But of course, in the heat of the moment, you don't think about those things. Because I think there was options I maybe could have tried, like slip away and then gunned him, but then I think I'd spend my CP to get more attack. Like I didn't manage for the whole thing. I didn't manage CP very well, but I had 2 opportunities basically to kill his leader. He killed my gunner in the end, healed up, because I was healed at the end of the combat. I charged my guy and only needed a crit, 4 dice, no crits. And again, hadn't used Vengeance for the Kin Band. So another thing I should have done, but I didn't spend my CP on that. So no rerolls, no crits. He bonks that guy, heals. I get another opportunity, charge in, just need 1 crit. Don't get it again.
Woof, brother, woof.
So the leader ends up taking, I think he took another 3 operatives with him before he went down. I think he ended up killing like 6 guys in the end between.
Oh my god!
I just couldn't drop him.
Disgusting.
Yeah, and then that meant that then the Shrive Talon and the rocket launcher, with the other ones, are kind of guarding his objectives. He ended up being able to move them back across. Got the Shrive Talon as well, but it didn't matter. Like at that point, I'd lost so many units. I couldn't score the points. I'd run out of bodies to do things. So.
That's a rough matchup, dude, because Legionaries, even though they got toned down, they're still absolute tanks, dude. Like, it just like what happened. If one gets in your backline, oh no, it's bad news.
Yeah, it was one of those things. It was just like, it was such a great game though. Like again, like the emotional roller coaster for him. Like he was devastated early. He's just like watching his team disintegrate. This super tough team. Just falling apart and getting picked up by, crew. To then turn around, and it was just the other way. And it was like, again, great game. Like, it's exactly why you play. Like, although I lost, it could have just easily kept snowballing my way. So yeah, ripper game, and a great way to finish, because we were both like, what the hell just happened? Like, it was. Just want to say quickly too, we've got Brother Bear, who great to see you. Brother Bear was up there.
Your nemesis.
Well. And
your absolute nemesis. Your arch rival.
His Wrecker Crew, but his first tournament played very well. It finished 19th with the Wrecker Crew. Dropped the first 2.
Pretty spicy result, dude.
Stormed home the rest of the way. So well done, Brother Bear.
Ooh, the classic Kill Team Casual submarine.
That's exactly
the way to do it. Russ would very much approve of this.
That's where I went wrong. I should have dropped the first 2. I shouldn't have gone 1-1. We've also got with a fantastic name as well. Oh, sorry, 13th, not 19th. Apologies, I undercut him there.
Oh, get it right, dude.
And he's
get it
quick
right.
to correct me as well. And a quick hello as well to Sparkle Nuts as well, who was my Vespid opponent. Great to have you in the chat, first time chatter as well. So
Sparkle Nuts says it's me, the Asian Vespids guy. Sparkle Nuts, you are welcome around these parts, my friend. Is this Ziggy? Was this Ziggy?
No, that was Jeremy.
Oh, okay, Jeremy. Okay.
Jeremy was Vespids, yeah. Yep. So it was, it's a great game. So overall, congrats as well to Emma, who won with Hand of the Archon. So the top 3.
Oh, I think I met Emma at Worlds.
I think you did, yes. Yeah, Emma, Hand of the Archon. Then we had Sam, who's second with the Phobos, and Shannon with the Nemesis Claw as well.
Is that Sam? What's his last
Sam
name?
Clark.
Yeah, I played. Sam was my first round at Worlds. He was
Oh, there you
unblooded
go.
then. Yeah, have you guys ever
Ah.
met? Have you guys met?
Like we met yes at the tournament, but like I didn't spend a whole bunch of time with Sam. I'm not allowed near the top tables. You know this. They're like, don't get your casual juice all over our top tables.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh man, yeah. I really had a lovely game against Sam. He was one of my favorite people that I met at Worlds. I really like Sam.
Ah. So that yeah, and it was funny. The funniest part though, like obviously we got golden ticket event. It's such a big deal, but it's obviously quite a big like a commitment to get from Australia to the US or UK for any of these big tournaments when big tickets are on the line. So it was so funny
Yeah.
watching the golden ticket do like the Bradbury and just fall down the list of like first place. Can you go? No. Who's the second person? Who's the third person? I was half a chance. I think I finished 44th. I was like, this might just fall to me.
Yeah, dude, I can imagine because it would be nice if for places where it's more expensive, they'd get a full ride. That would be nice for them.
Yeah.
At least just a plane ticket or
Plane
something,
ticket, yeah. It's because it's a huge. It's for by the time you do accommodation, and everything, it could be $4,000-5,000. That's huge. Like,
Yeah.
yes, you love the hobby, yes, but I mean that's the hobby's expensive enough with then having that hard sell on top
Yeah, it's
as
a
well.
lot, dude. It's a
So
lot. I was even for me, dude, even to drive, it's in Georgia, it's the next state up. Even
yeah,
an 8 hour drive, but then the hotels in the area are not cheap, dude. Like
yeah,
there's no so like it takes a lot, even if you're here. So like to come from, you know, Australia or somewhere else, like gosh, it's a lot. So it would be
yeah.
nice if they would help them out a little bit with accommodations.
You do hear, and again, not to compare. I know maybe not on the same scope, but yeah, things like Magic the Gathering, like you hear about that. Yeah, it's literally like tour support for those players that are playing at that cutting edge and stuff like that. And yeah, exactly. If you're putting in the work and you're part of the hobby, yeah,
Yeah.
that would be a welcome thing to see for not just Kill Team, but 40K, the tournament scene in general, because that really helps make
Yeah.
sure you are. If you're having a Worlds, you're getting the best players, and that's not a crack at anyone who takes the golden ticket when it falls down, because I bloody would have taken
Yeah.
it. But you know what I mean? Like if the players work their ass off, done the thing, it's not always fair to then have a cost barrier that might prohibit them from being able to make the
Yeah.
event that they've worked so
Yeah.
hard for. So that's just a general comment as opposed to about this one. In saying
Yeah.
that, congrats to Michael who did get it. He with the Hyrotech Circle, he played very well that day with them.
Ooh,
He went there
spicy,
he was at
spicy.
Worlds last year as well, so I think he's very excited to get back there and cause a ruckus. It sounds like
Oh,
they have too
nice.
much. You guys have too much fun there, so
It was a fun time, dude. Let's see if I can get back. I gotta get my
yes,
ticket.
that's it.
I was just shy of the top cut by like a
Oof.
point, and that I'll never forget. I was like, gosh, I could go back for free. No,
Yes,
gotta earn it again.
Gotta earn it. So basically, yeah, that's probably. Oh, sorry, I'm having trouble with my screen there. There we go.
Yep.
Is that gonna work? There we go. Cool.
So I think that while you put out the fires, I think this leads us to actually you
we're
have something to
done.
say?
That was it.
Oh, we're
Congratulations,
done.
everyone.
Okay, yeah.
Awesome work to bands. We'll probably have bands on in the next week or two coming up as well. The organizer event.
Yeah.
We're going to talk TOing, being organizing event, running an event, organizing that a big bunch of people. Things to think about if you are wanting to go to a tournament, organize your own. I think he's going to be a great resource. So if you're interested or curious in that side of things, he's going to be on in the next few weeks to have a chat, which will be really, really good. So let's talk BDS,
Yeah,
as you were
awesome.
saying. Segue.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah. Well, can I make my smooth segue? I jumped the gun.
Sorry,
Unfortunately,
okay.
I was a premature. This is a premature segue. But what I was going to say is, well, with all of no, brother, you're telling me. And so you're. I was like, hey, you had playing Kroot, for 6 games in a row of this tournament. Boy, it seems like you would know a lot about him. And how are you feeling about the new changes to Kroot?
Oh, good question. And luckily I did look it up before to see what they got, because I was really, really curious, because I was like, in terms of playing that many games from them and being like, well, where are they at? Like, are they a good team? Again, I think in the hands of a truly skilled player who really loves them and can put the effort in, I think they can be really good. They still definitely they can do everything pretty well. Like close combat, surprisingly good. Everything's pretty much 3 or 4, damage hitting on
Yeah.
threes. You can pump that up. There's ways to do things like that. They still really did lack key stopping power at times. Sometimes you'd just be like, I need that unit gone. And you only sort of had 1 or 2 pieces that could guarantee that. And if you lost them, my MVP for sure was the crossbow guy. He was unreal. He was tearing it up all day.
Oh, really?
The only change they got was just a clarification into the wording of slip away. That was it. I was like, not what I was expecting. I don't know what I was expecting.
Yeah. That was the joke. That was the joke in my segue.
I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, just literally a wording change to make sure that you understand that you can, I guess, effectively, if you were locked up in combat, probably the question was, can you fight? I didn't kill you. Spend 1 point to slip away. Sorry, 1 CP and then sneak away. The answer is yes, you can. But I think there was a few people going, I guess, order of operations that, no, you have to do it at the start. You can't fight, then run away, but you can.
Yeah. Cool. So what are you thinking about this data slate as a whole? Before we sort of jump into it, let's do it in a sort of, holistic approach. What do you think about it? Because I think as a whole, I'm pretty happy with it. I do have, there's a couple of sort of head scratch moments, but I think in general it was good. I think there are some winners and some losers. I think some of the winners, I'm going to be honest, didn't win big enough. But what are your thoughts?
I think it was number one. We were talking about this in the green room very briefly. I've never read a document / changes things that are presented as poorly as these. I get what they're trying to do. I get that they're trying to go, here's the differentiation of these are exactly the ones that have changed. Here's what's changed, blah, blah, blah. But it being all in different documents across all the different teams, you should definitely do that. Update the individual documents. Not saying don't do that, but you should be able to read an overall change document in one place so you can work your way.
Yeah.
I'd also like to see...
You can do it in a day.
Yeah.
You have an intern do it in an afternoon. You know what I mean?
Yeah. If we can do it, if us in the community can manage to piece it together through the scraps...
Yeah.
the people that are making the changes surely already probably have it in a big document somewhere. Just give us that, because it said, it's
that would be appreciated.
It makes it very hard to digest everything, easy to miss. But I think I think once the change is made, and I don't know about you, but once the changes are made, I don't need to know if it was that change was made in 1.2, 1.4, whatever. It's just the change. That's just the rules now, as far as I'm concerned. I don't need to know the retroactive stuff about all of it. It just, and I don't know about you, this again might be a personal, I don't know if this is just, I need this for me, but I also sometimes would love to see, has changed from X to Y. So tell me what it was and what it is now.
You know what? It's because you're not a student of the game anymore, Reese. You've been out too long, old man. Getting too rusty. If you were a student of the game, you would know these things.
When you're
this is a reward for the faithful and a punishment for the unjust.
When was the last time you looked at the Cassican data sheets?
Oh, dude, the Cassican one in particular, I was like, God, I hope this is good, because I have no clue what this team did before. Yeah,
that's it. Yeah, and there's a few teams like that. We're lucky. There's so many teams. It's a great problem to have, but it makes it, unless you probably know 4, 5, 6 factions pretty well, and it may be 2 or 3 super well, where these changes you're going to know every bit and piece. But the other 25, 24, whatever it is, you're going to be like, I don't fucking know. But
and you're a Cassican player, right?
I was excited about it. Couldn't tell you what they used to be, because they've been gathering dust on the shelf for a little bit, for sure.
Yeah, I'm hoping. I think got some like a ceaseless change somewhere, which seems pretty cool. Their sort of melee got better. I noticed this in a few different teams, like Cassican, Scouts. The Scout change kind of has me going up to 4-5 on the knives instead of 3-5. I kind of like that, Reese. Not gonna lie to you, which is kind of funny. They have better knife damage than full-on Astartes do, because Astartes knives are like 3-5 most of the time. But whatever, I digress. They're bigger knives.
Students of the knife.
Yeah, insert movie quote about that's not a knife right here.
Yes.
And so I'm interested in that. That's kind of interesting to me. But yeah, I don't know if Casterkin Melee is the missing link, know. But again, I'm not educated on Casterkin at the moment, but it's cool they got some love. The really cool one that everybody's buzzing about, like that, Reese, buzzing about is and that our fellow kill team enjoyer Russ, who's not here for, is Vespids. Vespid's got a whole laundry list of changes, and I know people are pretty excited about it. And my hot take is, I still don't think it's enough. Russ is not here to refute this. I think Russ thinks it's enough. I don't think it's enough. I think they're still a bad team, as crazy as it is. Like, to give a team an extra operative, and what are some of the buffs they got? You have it in front of you?
They got so obviously now they got the extra operative, which makes them literally a full box team now. That box you buy, that's your team. Fantastic. They don't need visibility on the drone's ability, I think, which gives them lethal 5-up. I think with the drone floating around. So previously that needed to be line of sight. Now it's just a bubble around the drone. They improved Sting. Improved the stat for that as well. And the Flamer that got extra movement on it, the flame move where they can fly and flame on the go, that got extended out to 8 inches. And the neutron fragments are now like stack. You add fragments to them, so that's now increasing that damage that they can do over time.
Ooh, yeah, if you shoot multiple times in the same area?
Yes, yeah.
That's kind of a fun thing, a fun little mini game.
Yeah, but again, like it was good. It was, and playing I already thought Sting was really good when I played as the foreshadowing earlier when I mentioned playing against Jeremy using Sting was really frustrating to play against, having that very easy access to being able to parry and knock out attacks, and really can stymie great close combat teams. So I really think that's cool for them. I think that's probably a bit underrated, because in my mind, you go Vespids, I'm just going to charge you, and I'm just going to you're going to get 3 hits max. Sting makes that prospect all of a sudden you end up, not getting the kills as quick as you think you will, which I really, really like. So, but what would you give them then if you're saying you reckon they're missing something, or you don't know yet? You need a little bit more time in the lab.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm a solutions guy right now.
That's not you.
It seems like I'm here to point out everybody else's problems. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I think, I don't know, man. I think the change to the drone giving them their tokens being able to stack, I think that, in my opinion, is probably the best change to them. Is that now you're not going to be, token poor going into turn 2 and 3 when you need those things. So that's really like a hot roll turn 1 is going to really benefit you. So I think that's a really, really cool change. But I don't know, man. I don't know. We'll have to see it in action. They just fell apart so quickly before. I'm going to be honest, like one more bug to kill. Cool. Like that, at least from the, what they struggle into is the elites, right? And so with the elite teams, I don't know if giving them one more activation is cool, but they already out-activated elites. So what's that really going to fix?
That's it.
So like that's what I would look at, is like, I don't know, do you up their damage? Then maybe it's hard. And what I think we see here, which speaks to the overall nature of the balanced data slate, is, boy, what a hard job it is to balance all these teams. that really, like, for as nitpicky as we all are, boy, because I think we were chatting about it. The elite teams really didn't get touched at all. Everybody says elites are too strong.
That was my big surprise. Was they went elites, instead of trying to move you up and down, they nearly stay the course, and we'll move the game around you. We'll bring things up to your level.
Yeah, I think that speaks to how difficult it is to balance elites, truly, because, like, okay, 12 wounds, not enough. 14 wounds, people are like, oh, too many wounds. So it's like, what are we doing here? Like, it's just it's a really difficult thing to balance for them. I really think the game with 3 objectives really favors elites in that way. But I think it's just a hard job right now. And elites, as an elite player, elites feel so good right now. Like last edition, it was like, boy, I love elites, but it is, boy, we're eating, chicken from a can every night. Like it's a hard life out here, and now they actually
Lean,
feel
lean.
good. Yeah, it was a lean life. It was like the four Yorkshiremen in a hole in the ground. We were evicted from our hole in the ground. And but now it feels really good. But people are saying, well, it's too strong. So I think it's just tough to balance all this stuff.
Yeah.
I don't envy the dev's job.
I don't think the elites. Yeah, like that's exactly right. You can keep tweaking with something, but as you said, without sometimes when you make a change, give them an extra wound. Oh, well, that changes all the break points, and that's a big knock-on effect. It's like, well, actually, keep them as the known commodity as this is what they are. Yes, they're powerful, but just help to bring other units up to their level.
Yeah.
Give them buffs versus sometimes buffs are going to be a better win than just trying to always cut things back. Also creates lots of feel bads too if you're that team that's I've seen it maybe with like Higher Tech where you're like super good, you get smashed on the head, you don't want to play them anymore. Super good, like you don't want to have teams having those huge swings. So a gentle hand can be a much better approach for sure. I think and keeping those win rates and understanding that the win rates that you see at tournaments aren't always reflective of the community. I know for myself, sometimes
it's not gospel.
Sometimes you read these rules and you're like, who was doing that or who did that affect?
Yeah.
I didn't know you could do that, or I didn't know that was a thing people were abusing. So
win rates definitely not everything.
I like
look in here if we can. I'll go for it.
I was just gonna say I'm a big fan of this because this is a team I would love to get into a little bit more. It's the Aquilons, another team that had big changes. Thematically, I really have always liked this team, but I played against them here and there. Haven't played them too much on top, but I've always loved the style and like they suit the Kill Team aesthetic really, really nicely. They're less boring Kassakin in a lot of ways. So I'm very happy that they got the extra operative. Being able to take the extra gun, special gunner is great because it just gives them an extra way to punch harder. You're not now leaving your sentry at home, which was kind of a lot of the time the choice you went, which took a little bit of flavor out of their team as well. And then obviously Hot Drop, getting the changes as well. So having an ability that doesn't get used once and then is gone away.
Yeah.
Now just being a forward and being aggressive, which you want to do with the Aquilons, means you're getting like cool stuff. The Precursor getting ceaseless, making that operative actually a bit more dangerous on close combat as opposed to dropping in and dying on its own activation. There's
What were the tweaks to that one?
So they got ceaseless on the Tempestus Dagger. They now get ceaseless.
That's cool.
Doesn't change heaps, but it's just rerolls that you need help you because obviously the Precursor gets. I'm pretty sure, and this is apology if I'm getting wrong. But I'm pretty sure your Precursor gets to do 2 actions first. Let me double check. As in resolve 2 attacks first.
2 attacks.
So, as in, like the hang on, let me
like a double strike,
yes, double strike before I make an absolute idiot of myself. More so, let me bring it up. So
Tempestus Aquilons is a team that I played. Every time I play them, I've only played them like 3 times. I played them once at Adepticon, and I was like, all right, I'm looking at things like there's the melted bomb, there's the melted gun, like all these things about to drop, and I'm like, okay. It's like we're in going to turn 3. Like, okay, where's your comms unit? Where's your comms guy? He's like, dude, I don't even have a comms guy. All I have is my leader. I was like, oh no. Like I was thinking he had the Kassakin like double comms guy. I was like, oh wait, what? Like my whole time playing this team, I'm like, wait, you don't have that? Like, wait, you don't have this ability? Like, you don't have these things? Like, dude, I actually gave my opponent a hug. I walked across the table. I was like, I gotta give you a hug, dude, because like you're out here in the gutters, dude, slumming, scumming it with Tempestus Aquilons. You got nothing out here but a freaking las gun and a dream. Like it's crazy how much
lines with nothing.
Nothing, dog. So it's great. It's great to see them get some love. A team that I think one thing we could do to sing the praises of the Kill Team developers is, man, they did a sort of emergency tone down on Sanctifiers, which is unheard of. It's sort of unprecedented because normally they let a team cook for one data slate and then patch them up. But this one, like
Mm.
right on the ball, they see, yep, this is a problem. Does the team still need tweaks? Yes, they do. But
Mm.
you don't want to just totally nerf a team right off the bat. And what this does, which is so good, is that the most toxic thing that they could do, which was be in your deployment zone, turn one with a Melta, they can no longer do that, which is so huge. And so I think it's a great change. You know, big ups, big props to the GW developers on doing that.
Yeah,
That is a lot
that's
of good faith built up.
a tip of the cap to them for that, because that's it exactly. You don't want them to come in and absolutely go, we're changing 20 things with the team, but that was very clearly not the intent of what those rules were meant to do. And it's a great change. It takes away that turn one feels bad alpha opportunity. There's still, as you said, there's still definitely tweaks to do, but I think they're going to have to be more finesse based, so you don't obviously ruin the faction. I did have to laugh as I just read in the chat, IRS Auditor. I also played against Aquilons at Adepticon. Really fun chap, but they did not hold up against goats. I don't think anything holds up against a committed Felgor attack.
I wonder if that IRS auditor, I wonder if it was the same guy, because the guy that I played was also very fun. He was a great opponent, one of my favorite opponents.
Oh, it could have been the same one, yeah.
Oh yeah, Barrett, Justin Dukes, yeah.
Oh,
Shout out to
Dukes,
Justin Dukes. He's a good bud that I met. Actually, ended up being a friend of a friend, which is crazy. That I met in Kansas City. Yeah, Barrett was his name. Thank you. What a fun dude. It was a great game, very fun. It ended up just slanting so hard, like Plague Marines on ITD. It was in that way it was a bummer, but he was a great sport, and I actually gave him a hug. That was brutal. Yeah.
Oh, geez. I mean, look, there's other things that have happened. I mean, there's teams that have been forgotten too. There's obviously the Pathfinders got some buffs because they've sort of fallen off the earth, definitely paying for the sins of previous times.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Is this the wrong way to put it? But I was like, there's some teams you're just like, do I need them to be back? I don't know.
Nobody misses Pathfinders.
I didn't miss them.
Yeah.
Am I wrong in that? Sorry if you're a Tower lover, but
yeah, I think they'll be. I think they're now good enough to bust out like your local game night. You know what I mean? I think that's where they're at. And that's at least cool in that way. But yeah, nobody misses competitive, disgusting Tau. One thing I saw in the comments too that people are talking about is the Rekkas. The Rekkas sort of did not get the buff that we were hoping for. But the thing is, Rekkas have been doing well enough at tournaments. So I think they're doing
our very own
just
brother
good
Bear in the
enough.
chat took them to 13th. You know, like I said, it shows that like they can do some work. They can, and there was quite a few Rekkas players at this tournament too.
Yeah, I think we're seeing like they're doing just good enough that it's keeping them from the buffs they need to be truly great. As I'm super plague pilled at the moment with my Plague Marines, Plague Marines, I gotta say this, new favorite team. Like I was since the beginning of this edition, I could not find a team that I clicked with. Man, these guys are my favorite. They copped a really strange nerf. Like the Cloud of Flies change. This was like the head scratcher for me. Is like. Sure, like they probably need to be touched in some way. Fine, yeah, that's the way things are. But it's just a really weird change. The Cloud of Flies went from a 3-inch bubble that you need to be holy within to now it's a 1-inch bubble you have to be holy within. Yeah. So very odd tweak. So now only one guy can benefit, or I think the math works. You can have 3 guys benefit from it, but they have to be base to base to base in a triangle formation. Which is, go ahead, do that. Everybody would love that.
Flying V, boys. Getting the flying V.
You move it up the board.
I've heard a few people say that, that now they're like, well, you just take smoke. Like, that's what it's kind of brought it very close to an alignment with. It's like, is it any better than smoke grenades? And I can understand, was it as someone who plays them, do you think it was being used oppressively? Could it have split the diff and gone to 2 inches? It's interesting.
Yeah, I don't think this is like sort of, while it's super weird, it's kind of a very light touch, which of course I appreciate, but it seems like this is probably not the problem, but I guess it means what it really does is the Nurgle hotbox tactic where you just pile in a building and say, come dig me out, is now a little bit harder to do. But like I was always taking smokes anyways, because the Cloud of Flies doesn't turn off piercing, it just gives you obscuring. So the smoke, but a lot of times Plague Marine players will double up. They'll pop cloud of flies and smoke. So like, good luck. It's a giant so but yeah, I wish it would kind of follow along with one guy. Like one guy has the stink cloud, and so you
Yeah.
nominate one guy and he gets it. But you know, it's fine. It's a fine change, but it is a weird one. I thought that it let me scratch my head a bit.
Yeah. G'day to Larry Pearson. Hello from Louisiana. Thank you so much for joining us. It's been great. There's
Howdy, Mr. Larry.
a bunch of new people in the chat today. It's really exciting to see a bunch of people, first timers or people who haven't been back for a while. It's really cool to see everyone in there in the chat. And I love that everyone's fired up
Yeah.
about the balanced status. Like heaps of people with suggestions about the wreckers and how ways they'd love to
Ooh.
see it done. And I love seeing too, Ben. It's great. Obviously, a lot of people met you at events and stuff like that. It's so cool to see how everyone's all tied in together in the community. It's really, really cool.
Yeah, that's sick. I'm looking at the chat here. It's like I met Justin. This is tournaments allow us to do this. I got to meet Jin of the Sheep. He came to Florida all the way
nice.
from the UK. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Met him. We got to play a game. Yeah, it's just crazy, man. These tournaments that allow you to meet all these people. Like I met a lot of the people that you played with or bumped shoulders with. So it's just super cool, man. This whole game, the whole ecosystem we're in, very cool.
And another team I wanted to touch on, actually, sorry to segue back into it, but there was so much to cover in the BDS today. The Hernken Jaegers. Speaking of teams,
ooh, I'm excited for the Jägermeister.
Speaking of teams, I just forget are a team, and that's no,
Yeah.
but I don't think I've seen them. Oh, I can't remember the last time I saw them on the tabletop.
Yeah, because they sucked so bad.
Yeah.
Tail end of last edition, they were good, man. They were good.
Yeah.
And then they just sucked so bad.
That's interesting. So they got some buffs to their masterful blade work. So they are retaliating with conceal orders. They're getting an extra attack now, so pushing up to 4. They got the good upgrade, which was balanced to ceaseless, which is really nice. The Bladekin gets a melee profile buff. And the stalwart defense no longer suffers a hit penalty, and plasma knives give balanced as the equipment plasma knives. So it's
spicy.
That's a lot of stuff. Like I guess the way I think the way they're meant to be played is like a defensive counter type team. So I guess
the porcupines.
The porcupines.
Yeah, I've always described them as porcupines. Yeah,
I like that. Plasma knifed porcupines. Plasma pines. It's and I think all those things obviously are good because they're pushing them. They're making them better at being said porcupines.
Yeah.
But none of it feels oppressive, which is good too. Felgor's going to have a bad day. That's good. Felgor need a few more bad matchups.
Ooh, yeah. Boy, Felgor took some. They really bore the brunt of this for our sins, didn't they? They caught all which is, by the way, a good thing. They caught a bunch of nerfs as they sort of, the biggest or one of the good changes. Everybody's down to 10 wounds now, which is good.
I'm glad
instead of the weird 11-10. So hard to keep track of for your opponent.
As someone who had been playing them a bit, you always forgot. You just were like, having one operative maybe with different wounds because it makes thematic sense. Like this guy's super strong and it's just one is okay. But when it's two or more, it feels weird.
Because your opponent would like, 10 damage, frenzy that guy. And you'd be like, dude, I'm sorry, this guy's 11 wounds. And they would just tear their sackcloth. It was awful. I tell you one that I think could be a little heavy-handed. I think the ambush that they took away that you can't turn a fail to a hit now. I think
it's a hit to a crit now, isn't it?
Yeah, you could do both before. Now it's just a hit to a crit, and so that was pretty impactful for them. Like that was a big deal to be able to do the auto norm to it. So that I think that's going to be a pretty big nerf. And then the big one is that the frenzy. Now you die if you counteract, so that as well that probably hurts quite a bit.
So to clarify, let's make sure you'd be playing this right. If you have the opportunity to counteract, you can choose to just pass. You don't have to do a counteract action. So it doesn't mean that automatically your operatives will die when you hit the counteraction, but it obviously means you could do that 1 point that, if it's fight or whatever, that basically, it limits you really to have effective counteractions or they might say oppressive counteractions in the other way that you get. Because you're effectively getting 2 more activations before death versus just the one.
Yeah.
And obviously that was what
Yeah,
they're
if you're
trying to
locked
cut
in
back.
combat, that would be like a fight, or a, whatever it is. So that's a good thing, I think, overall. But those are the heavy-hitter ones to me. The ambush change, because they really, I played them for a little bit. I really love them. I tell you what, I'm gonna go back to them now because I think they're gonna be less oppressive than they've ever been, and so I'll feel a little bit
Yes.
better about playing them. So good changes there. A plus
Just
plus. Even though I love my goats, but good stuff.
Just wanted to say quickly, someone in the chat, IRS Auditor was asking, is anyone playing Rattlings? I never hear about them, and only thing they got was technically a nerf. There was a player who took them at the Purge, who was, Taz, and he got them to 8th.
Another great
He
name.
dropped one game. Yeah, another great name. That's Taz. Yeah, he dropped one game and had a draw, but that's awesome. No, I don't think there was any other Rattlings. So not only to have the Rattlings,
Really?
but have them up in the top tables most of the time was very cool.
Huh.
Was very cool to see.
We see a lot of rattlings around here. Like, at least in the Florida scene, rattlings are quite popular. So, yeah, it's funny the different scenes catch on in different ways.
Yeah,
but,
isn't it funny that, different side of the world, same game, but the teams that play, people like, obviously they do have play, we've seen it, but again, I think they are maybe, being more of a tech team, maybe it's just not the game style, or it's, as you said, or that's a lot of mental work to remember all the things they can do. Because obviously you can see that they would melt if you get it wrong.
Yep, totally.
Corsairs are interesting. Corsairs cop some pretty big ones. Like Corsairs are
old Jen of the Sheep. Yeah, Jen of the Sheep in the chat's a big Corsair man. You know what? I say fair and good and well deserved. This is a team that any team that can reach out and touch you turn 1 if you leave your deployment zones, I hate. I think it's an awful mechanic, and their Starstorm Duelist just gives me, nightmares. I hate it.
Yeah, fair enough. Interesting too, they finally got the warding shield as well and brought that back in line with the other Justice Scratches. I think a lot of this balance out, so a lot of the change for a lot of teams were just things like that, just making sure that everything was back in alignment. They did a bit of work with what was it? All the small little operatives, just confirming the ones that, they don't count towards scoring objectives and all that sort of stuff. So it's good. It's always good that they review and revise that stuff and either change or get rid of anything that doesn't make, that's there are outliers, if you will. It's interesting. I said the Corsairs, I mean, still obviously I still think they've got a lot of play. I don't think it's going to hurt them too much.
Yeah, they can still eat you if you step a toe out of your deployment zone. So
Hearthkin Salvage is the one that they got. I learned a hard lesson about this one, which was the writ of claim about
it's disgusting. It's this is the initiative thing, right?
Yes,
it's disgusting.
I never knew.
Yeah, who gave them this? It's disgusting.
It was. I mean, I was like, so what? Just because you hold those, you can play it, and you can add one per object. Like it meant that getting an initiative was borderline impossible unless they're rolling like a 1 and you're rolling a 6. Like it was.
Yeah.
It made it very difficult. I do like that it's been turned into an initiative, just a re-roll. If you hold 2 objectives, that's great. The hoops are a little bit more firm on what you've got to do. How do you feel about initiative shenanigans?
Hate it. I hate initiative rerolls. I'll tell you what, the Imperium teams get it all the time, and I just truly, truly hate it. Because, I'll be playing against, do Star Striders have it? I think Star Striders have it.
Yeah,
Vekgar used to have it.
Their equipments, or they're writ of claim, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
They're
Kasserkin. Kasserkin get it, and it's always these teams with Melta bombs and plasmas and freaking Hell Blaster, Hellfire around, all this crazy stuff. I hate it. I say let the dice lie. I don't like manipulating it. Is it the only thing keeping them alive, facing down 6, plague-infested Marines? Maybe, but I just don't like it as a core, ability. Because, guess what? You spin a CP. Sacred. Yeah, I think exactly. Yeah, not everything has to be manipulated. So, but that's my opinion. I like just play it as it lies. But how about you?
Yeah. Well, I think that's the thing too. I think it takes a little bit of it takes a bit of fun of that initiative role out of it if you've got a
Yeah.
safety net. Like it's already great that if you got the initiative last turn, you break ties, that's great. That's like so you can already innately manipulate the dice a little bit in that way. Like and that feels
Yep.
like that's the maximum you want it to do. I love that tension point of everything comes down to this roll. Like that game I had against the legionary player, sorry, who was it? It was against Carl. Like those two initiative rolls on turning point 2 and 3 was huge because we were both like, if I win it, I'm doing this. And if you win it, you're
Yeah.
doing and that creates as opposed to me going, if you win it, but also there's 9 more hurdles you've got to do. Or if I roll shit, I'm just gonna re-roll it. Like
Yeah.
that lets
Right.
the air out of it. Like you've got to have some things that just make you sweat. Like
Yeah, I agree.
let the dice gods do it. The jump pack warrior
Yep.
down to 7. This is still the Hearthkin salvages. The jump pack warrior down to 7 from 8. What is it?
Movement?
Yeah, like dropped his movement down from 8 with the jetpack. Is that just to bring it into it's like a fast operative goes 7? Like, is that again, do you reckon, like a bit of just
Yeah, maybe the Alpha Strike thing they could do is just a little bit too. I bet it tones down the Alpha Strike they could do.
Yeah, does that 1 inch
Um,
mean that that's not impossible, but or is impossible or less likely potentially?
That's my guess. But I'm not a hard math guy. Like, I like to play kill team by feeling. But it feels to me like that inch probably does matter when it comes to getting that Alpha Strike off.
Yeah, because I was like, that felt unusual. I was like, I couldn't work out if it was meant to obviously hit the alpha ability, or it was just bringing into alignment that slow teams go 5, regular units go 6, fast units go 7. You know that there's a clear precedence within the orders of everything.
Yep.
Who else? What was there any others? We talked about the Plague Marine, talked about Sanctifiers.
Angels
Was
of
there
Death, notably, no changes. No changes to Angels,
Yes.
which is kind of interesting. People are saying they're too good.
My Blooded didn't get any
Yeah,
love.
Dueler's kind of wild.
Blooded were no changes.
Yeah, no love for
When-
Blooded. Breachers, R.I.P. Breachers. You know, it's kind of a
that was
rough go.
That was a weird one with the fact that it was already a ploy they had to spend a CP to open a door, but now it just also means you get to ignore the inch that you would lose movement-wise to get through the door.
Yeah.
That's not
Yeah.
flipping the team on its head.
No, it is not, brother. No, it is not. But yeah, all things, say, like, I think it's a good slate, but definitely some head scratchers there. Like, I guess Breachers just have to be bad this edition.
That's
Harlequins got touched, and I think it probably does nothing for them. I don't think it does hardly anything. So they're still going to be good like they are, but I feel like Harlequins aren't too good personally. Like, all the buffs they've received this edition really haven't changed them too much, and I feel like they're not too good, but I could be wrong on that.
I think in a lot of things, the best overall tick of the health of the game though is the fact that when you look across the whole thing, there's only sort of those 3 teams really had huge or seismic shifts, a lot of minor ones, and that's in the fact that some teams are getting ignored. I think that's a good thing. That's not sometimes not having to change it is great. One, it lets everyone settle in, get used to the teams, and just play the game. But yeah, it's I'm excited to see, we've got another unique type of team coming in the very near future with the Tyranid team.
Yeah, man.
They're going to bring, because the way they're going to play was it 5 models, big models that are going to have sort of some unique game mechanics. Going to be interesting to see how they get added into the balance.
Yeah, I'm psyched.
When do you, and you probably don't know this off the top of your head, but the teams that are meant to be in the year 1 out of here's the teams that are that are meant to, when does that officially kick in? We must be getting close to that now, right?
I think that's about August, September.
September?
Worlds was in what, November last year? Do you remember?
I think so.
Was it in November? I think it was in November.
There.
Yeah. And I think the new edition dropped like a month before that or something crazy. It was maybe even less. So I think it's probably October. It'd be my guess, October, or a little bit before Worlds would be my guess.
Because it'd be interesting to see.
Or maybe they'll treat Worlds as the goodbye. maybe Worlds will be the last ride for the, so who
The-
knows? I
Yeah.
don't really know how they'll do it.
Because that'll be interesting too to see how many, like the changes of, and like I know obviously they're saying they're going to support those teams, etc. But how much the focus will start to shift off those teams, how much they will be at the more minor scale of tweaks till they're not much tweaks, as they, I guess, ride off into the sunset.
Yeah, I'll be curious to see how they do it as well. Yeah, because that'll be a big shakeup too, man. When a lot of these teams go away, like Corsairs going away. Your Vanguard going away. Like, I think the Corsairs going away might be the bigger shakeup there. But yeah, I'll be curious to see how it goes, man.
Yeah, because I mean, there's teams that are just kind of fallen off, like we joked about Pathfinders, but also things like the Hunter Clade's another one that's always been there, but it's always kind of been a little bit on the fringe. Like there's some teams you're just like, oh yeah, that's right, that's a team. There'll be others who'll be sad about, like the Blooded. I'll be sad.
Yeah, Legionaries going away, like the sort of catch-all chaos going away. Crazy. They've been such a mainstay. Commandos going away, which I is shedding no tears over. I'm so happy to see them go.
IRS Auditors just said Phobos as well. Like, yeah, there's some teams in there
Dude,
that are like,
you know what? Good riddance to Phobos. Good effing riddance. That is my least favorite team this edition. They are my nemesis. It's the one team that I like. It gives me a really hard time. They're just so good. They're too good. You know what? Phobos dodging nerfs is buck wild, bro.
Yeah.
Buck effing wild that Phobos dodged the nerfs. That is the biggest crime
on the
to
weekend.
me.
There was a lot of Phobos on the weekend.
They're so good, dude. They're insane good.
I think of all the elite teams, that was the one I most wanted to avoid too, because it's like they're an elite, but they've just got they're also quite techie. They've got so many tricks. I was like, tricks is my thing, and if I run into a team that's better at it, and still has an armor save,
it's gross. Yeah, and I'll be curious what they replace Phobos with too, because like it's not scouts. Scouts are not scratching that same itch, so I'll be curious. My hope is that Deathwatch team that I was ranting about, but we'll see.
Surely, it's kind of setting up perfectly. Deathwatch, we've had some nids dropped in.
Yeah, man, it'd be sick.
We need some Deathwatch. Well, awesome. I think, look, there's lots to cover, and we could probably spend going into the minute, but I think we covered all the major things.
I agree.
And the things we liked. We've talked about the teams that we're happy about. And it's good. I think the game's in a really, really healthy spot, and it's good to analyze these things, but as you were sort of saying before, it's also great that the team that's in charge of the rules of this, they seem to be switched on. They seem to
doing the right things.
They're engaged. Yeah. It's always done with the best of intentions with what they're changing, and seeing what they did with making that early call on the sanctifiers and stuff like that. It means they're listening. The feedback's being heard, which is really, really good. So
yeah, great news. It's all signs point to healthy game state.
Dig it. Now I got to make sure I get back to more tournaments, so it's not so long in between my next one.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Shake the rust off. I still need to find my team. I still haven't found like you were saying, you've fallen in love with the Plague Marines. I haven't found that team yet that I'm like, these are my boys.
I bet it's Sanctifiers. I bet you would like Sanctifiers, dude.
I do.
Go
like
for
fire.
it. Just follow your heart. Yeah, it's you like the Wormblades, you like your Bloodeds, you like your Imperial teams. I guess you're a little all over the place, aren't you? But
I'm all over the place.
I bet you would like them, dude.
No, I reckon once they get brought back within a little bit, like just bonked on their head just a little bit harder, I think I'll have a look at them. I said, not that it matters that me playing a cracked team, I'm not ever playing them at that top tier level ever. I'm probably not doing a good job of keeping them cracked. I'd probably, if anything, slow down the nerfs, because they're like, no, someone out there's losing with them. But I said, I like the look, mainly just because also the models are sick too. I really love the.
Oh, so good. Yeah, I think give them a shout, dude. Give them a go. Even now, I think you'd really like them.
Yeah, nice one. All right, well, a huge thank you to everyone for joining us in the chat. The chat was going crazy today. Thank you to Slacker at Large, Sandy, Larry, IRS Auditor. Thank you so much. Tropic. Who else have we got? It's absolute gang. We had Brother Bear in there. Justin Dukes. Oh, I loved it. We had so many new voices in there. So great to have all you guys. If you are interested in joining us live, we always, when we record this, it is live. We're on Twitch or YouTube, so you can join us in either of those spots. In between the shows, you can always jump in the Battle Brothers tabletop Discord as well. which is nice. Yeah, it's, as I said, it's always just great to have you on the podcast, joining us live, whatever lets you interact. So thank you so much. A huge thank you to Ben from Battle Brothers Tabletop. That's you. All right.
Oh, sorry. I got lost in the chat. Sorry, I got lost. I was talking to IRS auditor. I was reading the messages. And I was like, I think I met this person. And shout out to IRS auditor.
We did meet. I get it.
Yeah. Sorry. Thank you very much for to Reese from Threes to Wound and to IRS auditor for meeting at Adepticon.
Love having the show with you, Ben. Hopefully Russ will have had his hair cut and he'll be back next week as well.
Nah, good riddance. We've settled into our own energy.
Yeah, we don't need
good riddance, Russ.
Thanks so much, guys. We'll see you next time.